Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Roto Baller Radio Waiver Wire series. I'm your host, Anthony Aniano. Happy to be with you here as we take a look at the Week 5 waiver wire at the running back position. Folks, don't forget to win big in 2021 with rotoballer.com's NFL Premium Pass. Are you ready to dominate your season-long and DFS leagues? Rotoballer's NFL Premium Pass and Draft Kit includes rankings, projections, and cheat sheets for all formats. Get exclusive DFS tools, lineup optimizers, and premium Slack chats. Join in on the winning and take 50% off any premium pass. Use my promo code ACES for an additional 10% discount. Visit rotoballer.com/radio and sign up today and start rotoballing like a boss. All right, everybody. Week 4 just about in the books. We already start looking ahead to Week 5 at the running back position. Some good news. There's a chance maybe Christian McCaffrey returns for Carolina in Week 5. If he plays, you play him. You do not drop Hubbard. We learned that lesson the hard way. We keep him on our roster. All right, now, another running back, big name, gets injured this week. David Montgomery. They think he's avoided something serious. Hopefully he's out there in Week 5, but we need to protect ourselves, and that makes Damian Williams of the Chicago Bears the number one waiver wire ad of the week at the running back position. Only 7% rostered. Damian Williams, we remember he had a ton of success in Kansas City, sat out last season due to COVID concerns, latches on with the Bears. Tariq Cohen still recuperating from his own knee issue. And Damian Williams came in and did what Damian Williams has done in the past. Runs the ball well, catches the ball out of the backfield, and has a nice matchup against Vegas next week. This week he went 8 for 55 and a touch, 2 receptions on 2 targets for 15 yards, and like I said, finished with 15 fantasy points after Montgomery went down. It's only 7% rostered. David Montgomery teams need to have Williams on your roster next week. If so, you add him, you play him. It's not even up for much debate there. You get him in your lineup. Okay, number 2, I keep going back to him, but J.D. McKissic, even though Antonio Gibson is a former wide receiver, it doesn't seem to matter. Tyler Heineke continues to check down to J.D. McKissic, and he was magnificent on that 39-yard touchdown to cinch the win for the Washington football team against the Falcons. 39% rostered, 7 carries, 15 yards, so he's involved even in the ground game, even though he's not overly effective, but 5 targets, 5 receptions, 44, including that 39-yarder. 12 targets in his last 3 games. He's had multiple games now with over 10 fantasy points. No buys in Week 5, but they start in Week 6. So these PPR running backs are going to grow in importance as running backs of yours hit the bye week and you have to play for that 10-point floor. McKissic has given that to you multiple times this year as well as last season. Faces New Orleans, who gave up that big touchdown reception to Saquon Barkley this past week. Number 3, Kenneth Gainwell of the Philadelphia Eagles. And he's a must-add if you have Miles Sanders, right? Let's stop pretending we don't need to back up our running backs. We do. And Kenneth Gainwell is one of the best, and he is getting plenty of activity in Philadelphia as they were playing from behind most of the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. 29% rostered. 3 carries, 31 yards, a touchdown. Okay, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 58 yards. A terrific game catching the ball out of the backfield. Finished with over 20 fantasy points this week. 20 points, only 29% rostered. I'm not saying I'm starting him next week against Carolina, but I'm saying he should be on rosters. Move on from Phillip Lindsay, from Mark Ingram, whatever running backs are flopping. Move on from Ty Johnson of the Jets. Move on from them. Michael Carter's the only Jet running back that should be on a team. No Houston running back should be on a team, and get the players like Kenneth Gainwell on your roster, especially if you have Miles Sanders, but even if you don't, as he continues to have value as the bye weeks approach. He has 2 games over 12 fantasy points through the first 4 games of the season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Up next, Jeremy McNichols of the Tennessee Titans, 1% rostered. And we wondered what Tennessee would do, right? Without A.J. Brown, without Julio Jones. And yes, they used some of the wide receivers here and there. But Jeremy McNichols had 12 targets on Sunday against the Jets. Barely ran the ball, not his role, but he had a PPR him to death type of performance. 8 catches, 74 yards. Bruh, the ghost of Danny Woodhead returned for Jeremy McNichols as a Tennessee Titan. Great matchup next week against Jacksonville. He's a flex option if the Tennessee wideouts Julio Jones and A.J. Brown continue to remain out. 16.5 fantasy points, 1% rostered. Derrick Henry. Now, no guarantee he's Derrick Henry's direct replacement because he's not Derrick Henry. Nobody is. But he does have the ability to catch the ball, kind of like a J.D. McKissic, very similar type of player, okay? And without those wide receivers, Ryan Tannehill had to get creative in the passing game, and McNichols was a focal point of it. And finally, Alex Collins of Seattle. Rashad Penny hits the injured reserve in what looks like will be his final year with the Seattle Seahawks. And Alex Collins has a nice role this past Sunday against San Francisco for Seattle. And is next in line if Chris Carson always seems to get banged up. Okay, Alex Collins, 1% rostered on Yahoo. 10 carries for 44 yards. I can't ignore that. Gets in the end zone. Catches 2 passes for 34 on his only 2 targets. 15.8 fantasy points. And you look, they play the Rams next week, and you look at what James Conner did, getting in the end zone for Arizona. You look at what Chase Edmonds did late in the game, banging out big runs, going over 100 yards rushing on the game. Suddenly, the Arizona, arguably the best offense in football right now, was able to run the ball down the Rams' throat. The Seattle Seahawks in another division matchup next week against the Rams. Every game's a must-win in that division. With Arizona, the Rams, Seattle, and San Francisco, every game is must-win. Okay, Alex Collins may have just carved himself a little bit of a role and a Chris Carson injury away from a much bigger role for the Seattle Seahawks. So when I take a look at this waiver wire for the running back position, I start with Damian Williams. He's the ad of the week. There's no doubt about it at the running back position. Give me J.D. McKissic at 2 in a PPR format. Give me Gainwell 3, Alex Collins 4, especially if I have Chris Carson on my team, and Jeremy McNichols number 5, with the ability to bump up as we get more injury news on both Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. All right, everybody, give me a follow on Twitter at Aniano Fantasy. Make sure you check out all the great content here on Rotoballer Radio's YouTube channel or wherever you listen to your Rotoballer Radio podcasts. The Waiver Wire series by myself, including the wide receiver video, the quarterback tight end video. You got the King and Pocket Aces and I doing our sleepers and value plays, as well as all the great must-start videos that come out for each and every position each week. And don't forget, Rotoballer Radio on SiriusXM, Fantasy Sports Radio, each and every day of the week. All right, everybody? Sign up for that premium package. Use the promo code ACES. And we'll see you next time. Stay smart, stay safe. Have a good one, folks.